Yeah, man, what up? We're out here driving to work. I wanted to jump on just because I think this is something I'm going to start doing. I'm just going to start recording and see where it takes me. Just dropped my girl off. Now we're heading to work. Awesome. Anyways, no intro, just straight to the money. Yeah, so I was messaging a young cat a few days ago about them wanting to know more about the military, and I was like, look, man, I'd love to tell you more, but I'm not a recruiter anymore, nor am I like in that field anymore. It's not really for me to really be giving you the information. I mean, I could, and I did, but I was like trying to tell them, like, there's a cat that's in your neighborhood that could probably do a better job than what I could do over text or phone. You should just see him in person. And they're like, nah, we built this relationship a while back. I want you to tell me what's good because you've been honest. And I kept it 100 with him, but I also kept it 100 with everybody. And I did everything I could to tell people the truth about what it's like, not just the military, but more focused on the Marine Corps, because that's what I'm in. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that I think that gets people caught up when they're looking at the military, they get caught up because they think it's like not the popular thing to do. It is not something that is normalized enough to do in this day and age. Back in the day, it was the next step in the ladder after high school, or in some cases, even before you graduated. Like that decision was already made, and some people jumped out of the seats while they were in class to get to boot camp. Times have changed. Like college is something that's preached. I also do preach get your education in what you love to do, because at the end of the day, it's about you, and that's what I did. So it's been working out for me. But one thing I keep getting is like, is it worth it? And here's the honest truth. Here's the honest God truth. I've been in for 19 years and some change. I am approved to retire come March of next year. I think for me, it has been worth it, and I cannot measure that worth right now. I think in the future, I might be able to quantify it, but right now, I can't, because I've gotten so much from the military that I wouldn't have otherwise have had if I went the traditional route of going high school, college. And honestly, like, my dream was to go to NFL. But how many people got dreams to go to NBA, NFL, MLB, all those different conglomerates? We all got dreams. That's all they are. They're just dreams, because you also have to be gifted. I was a little gifted, but at the time, like, my position wasn't something that I can necessarily go into right away because of my size. So, like, there's things that I was capable of, but hindsight 2020, look where I'm at now. I'm doing something that I never thought I would ever have done. And one of the things that I thought I would never have done is be able to reference places by the food I've ate. Like, the food that I put in my body, I never thought that would be a reference point for places that I've been to. So when cats tell me, like, yo, I've been to this place for vacation, and I'm like, dope, what kind of food do they have? And they told me, like, I had this, that. I'm like, but was it, like, authentically made by the community, by the culture? And a lot of people can't answer that because they went there for a vacation. Usually these vacation spots, they have this gourmet chef, this Michelin star personnel, and they prepare the food. It's probably really good, but it doesn't give you the most authentic flavor that region has. So when I'm like just talking to people in general, and they're like, yo, I went to Mardi Gras, I'm like, that's dope, man. Tell me about the food. What'd you eat, bro? And I love it when they tell me, yeah, I had the beignets, man. Beignets was off the hook. I had the shrimp. I had the shrimp and grits. That's one thing that people don't know. Shrimp and grits is freaking good, man. I'm telling you, it's freaking good depending on where you get it from. And if you get it from the New Orleans, man, oh, that shit fire. Anyways, and they keep going, man. Hey, they tell me that they had the oysters, the butter, garlic roasted oysters. Man, that shit fire. There's so much good food in that New Orleans region, that Louisiana, man, they got that flavor. Like, I love hearing that when someone goes to that place and they tell me about that, because that was my experience. I wanted to taste the culture. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to taste the culture. When people go to SoCal and they tell me about the places that they've been, I get real disappointed when they tell me, yo, I went to Hollywood and I went to this restaurant and I had this 4-star, 5-star type experience. And I'm like, bro, did you go to the food trucks though? Did you go to the food trucks and go get them street tacos? Oh, you didn't? You really didn't experience LA then. You experienced Hollywood, but you didn't experience LA, because LA is culture, you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I have gone out of my way to do, is experience the cultures of different places I've been to. And you can taste the heritage. You can taste, where the people have been. Man, I'm telling you, like, when I've done that coming from Portland, if I stayed my ass in Oregon, Washington, I wouldn't be able to talk on, like, yo, the sushi is ruined for me. Sushi is authentically on 100 ruined for me, because when I went to Oki, I had the freshest of the fresh. Like, the tuna coming off the boat, being sliced up, like, by this samurai looking cat, being served up by this dude who's old as shit, so he's been through it. Sushi fly as fuck. Can't get that shit in the States, man. The closest place I've been was maybe Seattle. I can't even remember the joint. It was good. It was good. But, man, I'm telling you, like, when you go to these places, you experience culture through the food. You get that story behind how they came up with it, why they do the things they do. That's just beautiful. And that's one thing that I encourage young people to be able to get into and experience, is when you join an organization like this, you want to go places to experience the culture, because that right there gives you a little bit more of a breath to have conversations with different people and hopefully understand them and then respect them. That's just beautiful. So that's one thing that I got out of the military, is that I've been to so many different places, tasted the food, got to know the culture, really got immersed into the community during that time period. While I'm eating that meal, like, I felt like I was there for a hot minute. Shoot, if you ever get a chance, man, you take that ass to Texas. I'm telling you, they got that barbecue out there. People talk about their barbecue. Look, I can smoke some meat, but when you go to Texas, man, I'm telling you, there's a different vibe out there. Even the Carolinas, you know what I'm saying? A different vibe out there. I could tell where you've been based on the sauce that you use. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the level of culture I'm into. Are you using mustard, using vinegar for your sauce base? Interesting. But anyways, that's neither here or there. So, like, I don't think that's enough for people to really get into, because that's that sort of mindset where you want to experience cultures. It's something that isn't relatively communicated as you're growing up. Most people want to talk about education, monetary value, money. So here's this part that I think most people don't really talk about. The education piece and how that can work to your benefit. Is the education in the military free? I don't think no education is free, because you have to give your time to get it. But there are certain things, remember that. Education is not free. Nothing is ever free if you have to give your time up for it. Time is more valuable than money. Remember that part. So here's this when it comes to knowledge, and more important than knowledge is wisdom. You're going to gain wisdom, because over the years, you're going to hang out with people who have been doing it for a hot minute, that can speak from experience, recall different things that they've been through, witnessed, or read about, and they're going to give you that information. That right there is wisdom. Wisdom being transferred from one person to you. You can't really get that in a college environment aside from the teacher. But the thing is like what you're getting from the teacher is the same thing that you can get from YouTube. In fact, it has been proven. It's been proven that you can probably get more information from YouTube as well as TikTok right now on how to create and make a business than going to a legit college. I'm telling you, Jack, like, look, you want to start a business, start YouTubing how to do it, because YouTube has more videos on how to create a business from different people. That's wisdom, by the way. You can learn how to do a business, and you don't even have to go to college. You don't have to get into debt. You can learn how to do a business. I'm not saying drop out of school or anything, but I'm saying when it comes to you exchanging your time to gain something, I think there's more assurances as you're going through the college route, because you're going to get your diploma, and that's something that people really have looked at as far as value. It's up there in value. You got other guys out there who are entrepreneurs, who are experiencing how to do things, and are developing their own set of wisdom, and if they keep on doing it, they're probably going to run into some sort of success. So if there's one thing about education, again, you're going to give up your time. Is it free? You're giving up your time. However, all right, I will say this part. If I got one of my young cats that come up to me and they say, hey, I want to do school, I want to do college, I'm going to say, bet. Bring me the piece of paper that says that I'm allowing you to cut out early to go to this class that's going to happen at 3. I sign that off. No matter what's going on the whole entire day, I'm telling you, because I do this right now, whatever is going on throughout the whole entire day, if I sign off on that piece of paper and the command signs off on it, that's acknowledging that me, no matter what is going on, I'm going to let this cat go to their school, go get that education. I'm going to give them the time to go get that education. The command is going to support my decision to allow this cat to go get their education. And if you know me, you know I preach education, because I got mines, and I think y'all should get yours. So that is the part of the military that a lot of people don't know about, is how easy it to get into school. We have education centers like everywhere. Education centers, and they're everywhere. And if there isn't one there, it's only a phone call away, and they'll set you up. We have legit professors on major installations, right? Major installations, like actual real professors that come in from like Penn State, that'll teach you what's good. You know, they'll teach you the education piece, administer tests, all that jazz. There's tutors on base. Like, look, man, I'm telling you, like the college experience that you want is nothing more than a party. The college experience that you want is something that isn't necessarily the way it was. Because here's the thing about college and what it was actually set up for. College, by design, was a place of higher learning. More important than anything else, was a place for people to cross-pollinate. So if you had let's say, I don't remember the first institution in America, but let's say Georgetown, because Georgetown's next to me. I'm in Virginia right now. DC is like down the street. If you're going to Georgetown, back in the day, you would have cats coming not just from Maryland, not from just Virginia, but you might have cats coming from Mississippi. All right. Now, if you know anything about Mississippi, culture's a little bit different from how it is from, let's say, California. So you got cats from Maryland, you got cats from Virginia, Mississippi, California. We'll even put Texas in there. Different cultures, right? Different cultures. They have different ideas on how to do things. Like the best example I can get is taking those same individuals and asking them, hey, how do you make toast? You know, depending on how they were raised, their culture, their background, they're going to have different ways on how to make toast, but at the end result, it's still going to be the same. But you might learn something, you being from wherever you're from, you might learn something from like the Texas cat on how they make toast. For them, making toast, Like the bread might be a little bit thicker. You know, you hear the Texas toast. The bread might be thicker. They might use open fire because you get that char on it. You get the wood flavor. Like there's different things that people do based on the culture. So that's something that, like, as you go to these institutes of higher learning, that's what was supposed to happen. Is the cross pollinations of cultures that are learning, and they learn from each other. But it's not happening as it used to happen, because now we have the internet. You know what I'm saying? The internet is how we cross-pollinate. You're watching me. We're cross-pollinating right now on different cultures and speaking on different things that have happened in my life, and hopefully I can hear about your life someday. But that's neither here nor there. Education. You do that here. Education-wise, there's like education, get the piece of paper. Education, the experience. A lot of people now thinking that the college experience is just the party. Like, I get it. Like, you gotta let loose. This is your first time being away from the parents. You're 19 years old. You think like drinking is like the most coolest thing you can do. Hold on now. Probably not. But anyways, different experience. You're gonna go through it. Hip hop hooray. In the same breath though, you gotta really ask yourself, unless you're going for like sports, unless you are really headstrong and you really want to get that education, that party life in a college environment ain't really going to do much for you unless you start networking, you know what I'm saying? So education, no matter how you look at it, you do have to give up your time. But I'm telling you, I give time to Marines that actually want to do this education piece. I give time. I will, and people can attest to this, I will throw you into the whip. We will drive to the education center. I'll introduce you to the personnel that's responsible for hooking you up with one test, classes, tutors, all that. Because I want you to be more successful than I am. That's what leaders do. Leaders empower people to be more successful than they are. So when they leave, the house doesn't fall apart. So for those of you who are wondering, like, how does education work? It works. More important than anything else, most, I would say not most, all, okay, this part right here, you need to hear me out, because if they're not doing it, you can find somebody else within the command that is like, that has influence, let them know what's going on, and they'll correct it. But all commands will allow you the opportunity to get your higher education. All commands will encourage you to go to college while you're in the military. More specifically, especially right now, I'm telling you right now, TBS, the basic school, we literally have classes on a quarterly basis on how to get your education, because that's how much my command, the institution, believes in these young cats getting their education. We want to empower them to do more. There's that piece. So I talked about, look, for me, culture is important. Going to different places, tasting the food, the real food, you know what I'm saying? Made by mom and pops down the street, that real food. Education, you know, you're going to have to give up your time for it, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. The Marine Corps is going to, like I almost make cats go get their education, but we do encourage individuals to further their education. Now I'm going to talk about lifestyle, comfort of living. This might be, for some of y'all young cats, this might be the first time you've ever been away from your folks. I know for me, it was like the first time, besides me going to like football camps, sports camps, that was the first time that I was away. And I went to Japan, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had nobody. If I wanted to call home, like, that time difference really just jacked me up. So I would just like write letters, at the time, type up emails, send that, because I don't have to worry about time frames and whatnot. So that's how I communicated. Now it's a lot easier. You know, you have the different platforms, different social medias to really just communicate with your family. I think because of that, like, the homesickness isn't as strong as it used to be, but still, there's still that lingering feeling of what is like the FOMO, like fear of missing out. This is the same experience that you're gonna have going to a college environment, like. And I hope that when you go to college that you're going away from home. Like, if you're in Washington, like, for some crazy reason, you're like, I want to go to NY State. So you go to New York State Like that's dope, because now you're experiencing a completely different culture. You're away from your family. You're building those mental calluses. You know what I'm saying? Those mental calluses are more important than anything else in life. But you're developing something about yourself that's going to allow you to be further along in life later on, because you discovered your independency. And that's a lot. That has a lot to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're watching this, you're a young cat, you're in high school, you're out of high school, you're thinking about leaving home because you want to experience something. Like, this is one thing that's going to tremendously develop your mental calluses, whether it's you finding your own independency, you becoming a leader, you getting exposed to different things. That's going to allow you to speak on things you would never have experienced in your life. That's what the Marine Corps has done for me. And I say that in kind that, look, I've been in for a hot minute. So my calluses are you can't even see it. My calluses are deep, boy. But in the same breath, these cats who come in, they do 4 years, they get out. There's something about them. They have this sense of pride. They have the courage to want to speak up and do things. Like, they're different, man. They're different from your traditional cat who went to college. Like, unless you're on a sports team, you don't really experience like that leadership role. You're not really empowered to be a leader. You don't really know like the first thing about being the focal point of an assignment. That's one thing that I think the military as a whole has done great. But I think the Marine Corps does it better. is find ways to empower these individuals, turn them into independent thinkers. People think that military are nothing more than just a bunch of, for Marine Corps' sake, a bunch of jarheads. They don't think, they don't know how to do anything. But in truth, the cats coming from the military are the most highly qualified to have conversations about critical thinking, creative problem solving, problem framing. Like, these cats, I'm telling you, put a problem in front of them and you have crazy ideas on how to solve problems. You'll get a crazy idea, you'll get the most correct idea, and then you'll get one that's plausible. Like, you get all these ideas that would have never otherwise been discovered unless they were away from family, unless they were able to really cross-pollinate, meet different cultures and the how-tos from that culture. Self-development. There's a lot of things that as you are like really traversing, you're out in the middle of the ocean of life and you're just thinking about like, man, do I just do the normal thing, or do I do what is not necessarily normal, what is not necessarily known? Like, do I just stay here afloat, do the normal thing, or do I go down under and see what's down there? Maybe I'll find something dope. Maybe you'll find Atlantis. We don't know. But life is short, man. Like, you gotta think about it like this. Most people will not get to experience life the way that they thought they would experience it. And if y'all don't know, life expectancy is dropping, man. Life expectancy is dropping. Your 30s might as well be like your mid-years. You know what I'm saying? It's not 50. 50 is easy because it's a century. Like, people are thinking everybody's gonna live to 100. Not everybody lives to 100. Like, right now, I'm middle age. I'm 38 years old. I'm middle age, bro. I'm past middle age. 35, maybe even 30 for some of y'all is going to be middle age. So don't you think that it would be beneficial for you to get out there, live your life the way that it should be lived, experience different things, get uncomfortable for a hot minute, get to a point where you really have to think about creative things in order to solve problems. Like, get to that point. Man, it's beautiful when you get to that point. You establish yourself as that person. And guess what? Most people in the military establish themselves as that person because they're given all the opportunities in the world to exercise, 1, their leadership style, 2, they get to practice their independency, 3, they get to mature all those things. So that's my personal opinion on the military as far as what it can do for people what it's done for me. It's done a lot. But for some of y'all who are out there on the fence thinking about the military, I would encourage you to do it. Like, you don't have to do the Marine Corps. Like, personal preference, you don't have to do the Marine Corps. I think the Marine Corps does have the hardest boot camp. All right, let's be real. It has the hardest boot camp, most mentally challenging, most physically demanding. You don't have to be the most physically fit person. All right, you don't have to be the most mentally tough person, because all that happens in boot camp. Like, that's what boot camp is designed for. It's designed for you to fail. First off, like, the first week you're gonna fail everything. Nobody goes in there and then they're just like walking on water and they're like butterflies and shit. No, you're gonna fail, and it's by design. In failure, you learn things about yourself quickly. In 3 months, you're gonna learn more about yourself than you would from a college. You know, like, hands down. So, like, that's one thing to know. Like, it's gonna be hard, but more people keep coming out of it, so it can't be impossible. Yeah, there you go. It may be hard, but not impossible. So that's that aspect of things. It's not normal to join the military because, like, society hasn't normalized it. Different cultures do have it like it's a normal thing to do. It's the way out. It's how they become adults. You know, it's like their crucible is to go through the military, become an adult, figure it out. That's the way it used to be. Now it's not so much. So there's another thing. If you're if you're on the fence, right? You're on the fence. Just go to your recruiters. Find your recruiter, whoever that is. Go to all the military branches. Look, recruiters will hate this. I'm telling you right now, because I used to be one. Recruiters will hate the fact that you're talking to all the military branches about what you want to do for your future and how you want to, like, frame what it is you're trying to get out of yourself while you're in the military. A recruiter will hate that, but but you got to do it for you, man. Like, you got to do it for you. You got to look out for you one time, and that's a 4-year commitment. You know what I'm saying? That's a 4-year commitment to an organization that you will probably think is the best slice of bread you've ever had in your life. Whether it's true or not, who cares? It's your life. But yeah, talk to all of them. Get the details from every single military branch, and then come up with your own conclusion. Yeah, man. So I didn't want this to be long, but man, it just kept going. Anyways, I gotta go. Deuces. I'm in traffic. We're almost to my work. But good luck.